All right. Hey, what's up, good people? I'm QC. Welcome to this live stream for Talking and Rubbing. Excuse me. Tonight is the 2009 NBA draft. We're going to see where the top college prospects are going to start their professional NBA careers. I see a couple of people in the chat already. Will P, what's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for joining me. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed my NBA videos, man. Free agency hasn't even started yet, but it's already been. This NBA offseason is kicked off pretty strong. AD's going to the Lakers. Kawhi waiting to see what he's going to do. Will P, how you doing? How's your day? How's your evening? Yes, definitely gonna see where Kawhi ends up. Does he end up staying in Toronto on a short deal? Does he stay on a long-term deal? Or does he go home to LA with the Clippers? Just letting everybody know on social media that I'm live right now. And also has breaking news from Adrian Wojnarowski that the Timberwolves have traded for the number 8 pick. Also, the Atlanta Hawks made a trade with the Pelicans for the number 4th pick, so they will be selecting 4th tonight. Yes. Want to see where we want to see where Zion Williamson's going to go, Ja Morant, also RJ Barrett. Also, I'm curious to see where Derek Culver, Darius Garland, Cam Reddish, where those cats are going to go. Come on, y'all. For those who joining me in the chat, welcome. For those of you who are just watching me for the first time, definitely welcome. I'm glad you came to join me. Don't make this your last time. Subscribe to the channel. When you do, click on the bell icon. That way you won't miss any new videos or upcoming live streams from me. As a matter of fact, I will be doing an impromptu live stream. So when I do that, I'm going to announce it on social media. So when I do, look out for that so you can join me. And for those of you who don't know what impromptu is, impromptu means unplanned, unscheduled, not being organized. It's just right then and there on the spot. So I will be doing an impromptu live stream soon. Just be on the lookout. K Nostalgic Gamer, what's up, man? How you doing? If you were Atlanta, you would have kept the picks, loaded your team up, huh? So you would have made that deal with New Orleans, huh? Now I know a lot of people think that the top 3 picks a lot of these guys may not have success in the NBA, but I find that BS because you can find good players in any draft, in my opinion. Dwayne Wade was number 5. Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, they were picked 15. Paul George was picked 13, and he's an all-star. Kawhi, MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo, an all-star, and ascended to one of the superstars in the NBA. So I don't believe that after the top three that none of these players may not be good, because we've seen players drafted number one become bust. Look at Sam Bowie. I'm sorry. He was selected number one and he was a big buzz, but Michael Jordan was selected number three and he went on to have a hell of a Hall of Fame career and great accomplishments. Also, Donovan Mitchell, a year or two ago, was selected 13th. He ended up going to the playoffs his rookie year. Zion, I think he could definitely be a beast, but one thing concerns me is, can he keep his eating habits under control? That's the only thing that concerns me with Zion. You know, a lot of people don't know. Sometimes overeating can hold back a player. Look at Eddie Lacy, who used to play for the Green Bay Packers. That man was one of the best running backs in the NFL, but he couldn't pull himself away from the dinner table. Now, I'm not saying this to be funny or trying to put the man down, I'm just telling the overall truth. He was one of the best running backs in the NFL, but he couldn't stop, you know, stop eating to lose weight and to stay in the NFL, and he ended up getting cut, retiring too soon. I think if he would have done that, he would have been he definitely would still be in the NFL and be one of the best running backs in the NFL. I see y'all joining me in the live stream. Come on, I want to hear see your comments in the chat. What do y'all think about this draft? Do y'all think it's just three great players in the draft and everybody else, or do you think there's more that a lot of the analysts and the so-called draft experts are sleeping on? And also, I left my PayPal link in the chat. If you want to donate to that, click on that link. You could donate whatever you want to feel you want to donate. That's cool with me to help me keep this channel going, because I definitely want to create more good quality content for y'all. I plan on, I haven't done my grub in a while. I missed that. So I'm definitely going to be working on a couple of those soon. And also, I want to get out here to sports, as well as doing restaurants in the Cleveland area and also outside of the Cleveland area. Who knows? I may come to your city or country one day and do a restaurant or a sporting event. Okay, Will P. Feel like Ja is going to be a bust. Will P, why you think Ja is going to be a bust? What's your reasons? And thoughts on Boy? I mean, my thoughts on him, if with the right development, he could turn into a pretty solid player, at least an all-star player. For some reason, I don't see superstar from him. I could be wrong. Now, while we wait for this draft to start, I'm about to grub on a couple of things, starting with these Ruffles sour cream and onion potato chips. Pour some in this bowl. All right. And also, Will P, I ain't doing the Reese's bars tonight. But they will be back sometime in the near future. Okay, so Will P, you saying Ja will be a bust because you feel he's too inconsistent? And you say you only had one good game during March Madness. Yeah, but Will P, I do got something sweet that I'm gonna grab on a little bit later. But no, it won't be the Reese bars. Not right now. Giving those a little break. They're real good, but I gotta give them a break. Matter of fact, as I said on my game 6 live stream for the NBA Finals last week, if they sell them at, you can get them at your local Family Dollar, your Walmart or Target. Who knows? They might even be at your local grocery store. Okay, Will P, you say you didn't even know him, and he is going number 2. No way. I mean, Ja's a pretty solid player. I think he's more of a distributor. You know, he's like a modern day Magic Johnson. That's what he reminds me of. Culver reminds me of a Paul Pierce. I hope the Cavs draft him. The Cavs need another small forward. They really do. I definitely hope the Hawks don't take him. All right, I see people join the live stream. Come on. Come on in the comment section with your thoughts. What do you think about this draft tonight? You know, if you're a big NBA, if you're a fan of an NBA team, who do you hope your team drafts tonight with whatever pick that they have? I have Paul Pierce. Anything is possible. No, Will P. That was Kevin Garnett, not Paul Pierce. Okay, Zion, RJ Barrett, they're talking right now. Will P, who's your favorite team? Also, for the folks that's here in the live stream, whoever your team is, who you want them to draft tonight? If your team has a draft pick. Okay, Will P, you want your Hornets to get boy. P Zareen, what's up, man? How you doing? Okay, Will P, I want to ask you a question about your Hornets. What do you think has held them back from being a success, being having success as the franchise? Do you think it's Michael Jordan? Do you think it's the front office? Do you think it's been the coaching? What do you think has held back the Hornets all these years? Okay, Will P. So you say Jordan has held back the team under his ownership? Well, I mean, let's see what Mitch Kupchak does in this draft tonight. He's built championship teams with the Lakers. You know, he was the one that got Paul Gasol, got Paul Gasol traded from Memphis to LA and build a pretty good team around Kobe to get his last 2 rings. So who knows? Maybe he might turn around with the Hornets. Cesarine, you say Charlotte's not a great free agent destination? Why not? I mean, it is warm. Now I don't know if they um have state income tax like Florida or Texas, but I heard Charlotte's not a pretty bad city. So Cesarine, why Charlotte isn't a good free agent destination?
This is not a 2A situation. John Morant is the clear-cut number 2 prospect in the draft because not only is he a Greek athlete, but he's by far
everyone's overpaid and Charlotte is cold in the winter. Will P, since you're and you live in Charlotte, Will P. I'm curious, Will P, does Charlotte get any snow, or if it does it get a lot of snow? He's the reason you say I think players would rather play in Florida. That could be true. And another place I'm surprised that don't get a lot of big free agents, the Hawks. You know, that's Atlanta, ATL. You know, that's the hotbed, one of the hotbeds of the entertainment industry outside of New York, LA, Chicago. I always wonder why they never got a big free agent. Like this, yeah. It snows every year like 5 inches in Charlotte. Now, I definitely would have never knew that Charlotte got any snow. Because, you know, a lot of us Northerners, we assume just because it's the South, that the South never gets any snow in the winter. You know, I'm up here in Cleveland. We think we're the only, well, one of the only places in the world that gets snow. And plus, Will P 6 inches ain't nothing to us Cleveland folks or us Northeastern folks. There's been times we didn't got 15, 16, 18, 17, 18 inches of snow and had to go to work in it. Now, for me, if the Cavs stay at number 5, I hope they either pick Jarrett Culver or Darius Garland. Now, I know Darius Garland is a point guard, but you could convert him over to shooting guard and keep Colin Sexton at the point guard. Oh, you lucky. Just rub it in. You get out of school every time it snows. Hell, when I was a kid, we barely got out of school when it snowed. Lucky you. I'm jealous. I'm jealous, Will P. All right, this draft, the NBA draft is going to be kicking off within the next few minutes. Oh, and also, Teaser Reeve, you still in here? Who do you want your team to pick tonight? Will P, you said, okay, LeBron or Jordan. What do you mean, LeBron or Jordan? Far as what? Okay, the NBA draft is about to kick off. Adam Silver will be taking the podium shortly to announce the first overall pick. Well, the New Orleans Pelicans' first overall pick. The GOAT, you're from Cleveland. Okay. Who I think is the GOAT? Actually, neither, in my opinion, it's neither Jordan or LeBron. It's Kareem. Because Kareem, he's the all-time scoring leader. He's accomplished a lot more than Jordan did in the pros and in college. He has 6 rings, just like Michael Jordan. The only thing is Kareem only got 2 finals MVPs compared to Jordan's 6 and LeBron's 3 finals MVPs. Now, I say LeBron and Jordan are the GOATs of their eras. You know, they're one of the GOATs, but I don't want to put those two, neither one of them, as the GOAT. And I love LeBron for what all he did for Cleveland and the Cavaliers, you know, coming back, bringing the championship to Cleveland in 2016 and breaking the 52-year drought. But I can't put him or Jordan in the GOAT conversation. Will Chamberlain was a great player. He was. And I think Will Chamberlain should have more accomplishments on his resume than he does. He should have more rings than what he has. But he kept on running to the Lakers until he joined the Lakers. So Will P, who you think is the GOAT? I'm sorry, Will P, who do you think is the GOAT? They're introducing all these players now. Okay, everybody's here in the live stream. Come on, what's your thoughts and comments on this draft tonight? Who do you want your team to pick? I get something to drink here, some lemonade. That hit the spot. Okay. Okay, Will P, you say Jordan is the GOAT. Okay, I respect that. I respect that. You entitled to your opinion. Plus, you're from Charlotte. And I know a lot of people love to put Jordan as the GOAT and just, you know, make Jordan the GOAT because, well, he's 6-0 in the finals. You know, he never lost. He never went to a game 7, which I hate when people say that, oh, he ain't never went to a game 7. Because to me, that's like you crapping on other great players who did go to game 7. It's like you saying that Larry Bird, Magic, Isaiah, LeBron, Tim Duncan. You say it's like you're saying they're not great because, oh, they didn't beat a team in 6, you know, they didn't sweep a team. They didn't beat a team in 5 games or 6 games. You know, they let themselves go to a game 7. You ain't never supposed to let yourself go to a game 7. You want to be the GOAT. That's just sound like some petty. That sound like some troll shit to me. When people say that, oh, Jordan never went to a game 7. It's like y'all saying that that other players weren't great because they went to a game 7. Hell, Bill Russell went to a few game 7s and won most of them, if not all of them. LeBron, he's 2-0 in game 7s in the finals. Tim Duncan's 1-1. Magic Johnson's 1-1 in game 7s in the finals. These kids are good. But the reason why Jordan never went to game 7 in the NBA finals because he had stacked teams. He didn't do that. He didn't do it all by himself. You know, he had Pippen, Bill Cartwright, B.J. Armstrong, John Paxson, Will Perdue. Will P, you said, what Zion wearing? I have no comment, Will P. But then for the second three-peat, that team was better than the first three-peat with cats like Ron Harper, Dennis Rodman, Tony Kukoc, Steve Kerr. So, of course, with those teams, you definitely not going to go to a game 7. Even though in the finals, the second three-peat team was challenged more than the first three-peat team. Because you notice all those games in 96, 97, 98 went 6 games. So, yeah, I wish people would stop bitching that, well, he never went to a game 7, because to me, when you say Michael Jordan never went to a game 7, it's like you crapping on the other greats that did go to a game 7. That has always been my opinion. And plus, most of the players who went game 7, they were playing some great teams. You know, it wasn't like they was playing a bunch of scrubs. And Besh Bashar, your stomach will burst, man. My stomach's okay, man. Thank you. Thank you for your concern. My stomach's okay, but how you doing? Also, those that's coming into the live stream, like the video. Also, share this video with your family and friends. And for those who are coming in for the first time, welcome. For those who are just joining me, welcome. Don't make this your last time if this is your first time. Click on the red box and subscribe. Click on the bell icon so you won't miss any new videos or upcoming live streams from me. We're inching closer to the start of this NBA draft for 2019. About to see where all these players are going to go. In these 2 rounds in this NBA draft, never know, you might find some diamonds in the rough in the second round that might go on to do something in the NBA. Okay, everybody joining the live stream, come on, I want to see your comments in the chat. Who do you want your team to draft tonight? If your team has a draft pick. Because I know the Lakers, they don't have any draft picks. Yep, they're also showing guys who are stars now that weren't picked in the top 5, top 10, or even in the top 20. People forget Draymond Green was a second-round draft pick. You know, Manu Ginobili, he was a second-round pick. So was I think Tony Parker was a late first-round pick, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, little skills, how you doing? You want the Heat to draft Hashimura or Boy? Yeah, Will P, the Pels are stacked. All right, here comes Adam Silver to the podium, and the 2019 NBA draft is underway. Yeah, Will P, David Griffin's already coming in doing his thing. It shouldn't have took. Speaking of David Griffin, it shouldn't have took him 2 years to get another NBA job. That man should have had an NBA job just like that as soon as the Cavs let him go. You know, that man came in, you know, started accumulating assets with for the Cavs. Then you know, he ended up convincing LeBron James to come back home. Then got the number 1 pick, getting Andrew Wiggins, and that turned into Kevin Love. And he ended up building, you know, an NBA championship team in Cleveland. So man, I'm happy for David Griffin. He should have definitely had to wait that long to get another job. All right. The first pick. All right, Pelicans are on the clock. Now I'm about to grub on some of these famous Amos cookies. If y'all ain't tried these, y'all need to buy these at your local grocery store. These are good. I don't think the Pelicans are going to be on the clock that long. So who you think the Pelicans are going to pick at number 1? There have been some surprises in the draft before. All right, everybody joining me in the chat, welcome. I want to see your comments in the chat. Who do you want your team to draft tonight? Also, if this is your first time, don't make it your last. Subscribe to the channel. When you do, click on the bell icon so that way you won't miss any new videos or upcoming live streams from me. All right, and there's a lot of New Orleans fans outside. Will P, if Zion don't go first, then man, heads are gonna roll in New Orleans. There's gonna be a lot of PO Pelicans fans tonight and tomorrow morning. And they're going to be calling for David Griffin's head first thing in the morning on every sports show in New Orleans. David Griffin will be clowned. He will be a big national joke. They will be demanding David Griffin be fired immediately if he doesn't get Zion Williamson with this number one pick. That was some energy. One thing I give credit to New Orleans people. New Orleans people are some energetic mofos. Will P, I would laugh so hard. That's cold, man. You would laugh at that, man. You wrong. That's some a-hole stuff, Will P. And you're from New Orleans here in this live stream. What do y'all think about Zion Williamson coming to the Pelicans if he's selected? Yeah, Zion is a beast on the boards. He can block shots. He can run up the floor and dunk. But the downside, now, and he's definitely an intelligent basketball player, and he always anticipates opportunities for turnovers. But I hope that he can keep his weight under control. That's my biggest concern for him. And also, I hope he develops an outside shot. Yeah, Zion definitely is in the spirit of Charles Barkley. And he could definitely fly out the gym like Blake Griffin. But I definitely hope Zion develops an outside shot. All right, here comes Adam Silver. All right, the Pelicans select Zion Williamson at number 1. Christian Drake, what's up, man? How you doing? Thanks for joining me. Yep, if you just joined the live stream, Zion Williamson is going to the Crescent City. The New Orleans Pelicans drafted Zion Williamson with the first overall pick. Christian, who's your team and who do you want them to pick tonight? In my opinion, with Zion Williamson, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and also with the few first round picks that the Pelicans are going to have for the next 3 years, the rebuild in New Orleans is going to be a lot sooner as opposed to later. Now, some people think Zion can't be a superstar in the NBA. Some people think he can be a good overall player, but people don't think he could reach that superstar level. But you just never know. He could definitely be a superstar in the NBA if he works hard and he, like I said, if he keeps himself in good shape. Okay, Trey. Okay, Dre, fellow Cavs fan, what's up, man? So you want Cam Reddish or DeAndre Hunter? Yeah, I would like DeAndre Hunter too. I forgot about him. That would definitely be a good move to get DeAndre Hunter. Definitely would throw him on that third on the list under Culver and Garland. Okay, Eli Pick AK-47. How you doing? Thanks for joining me. Do I think the Lakers are going to trade Kuzma? Nah, I don't think so. If the Lakers wanted to trade Kuzma, they would have traded him in the Anthony Davis deal. So Rob Pelinka definitely think Kuzma was too valuable to let go. So no, I don't see the Lakers trading Kuzma anytime soon, unless it's a trade that just really just knocks them off their feet. You know, hey Dre, you say Fast Show 100. Okay, the Grizzlies got the number 2 pick, so they're gonna be on the clock soon. They can pick either Ja Morant or RJ Barrett. Or they could do a 160 and select somebody like a Darius Garland. All right, Will P. See you later, man. Definitely join me for the next stream. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Just never know. RJ Barrett could go next. All right, the Grizzlies about to make their selection. All right, Ja Morant gets picked number 2 by the Grizzlies. That's a pretty good pickup for them after they traded Mike Conley yesterday to the Utah Jazz. He could definitely pass. He could bring up the ball. He's a great facilitator, but the only problem is his scoring. He didn't score a lot in March Madness this year. You know, he only had one good scoring game, so I hope he could definitely work on his scoring a little bit more and develop a pretty solid 3-point shot. Intelligent Psycho, what's up, man? How you doing? No, I ain't see Stephen A. ran on the Knicks. Why would you say it would be a mistake to drop RJ Barrett? If the Knicks don't draft RJ Barrett and do a typical Knicks move, then Dolan needs to just sell the freaking team. Because fans are gonna be calling for his head tonight and tomorrow. Hell, they're gonna be calling for his head all season. Yeah, Ja can't go to the hole very well, but he is turnover prone. From the games I saw in March Madness, he definitely had a good amount of turnovers in those games. That's another thing he has to improve on. His turnovers. Yep. So Zion goes to Beale Street. I mean, excuse me, to the French Quarter. Now Ja Morant, he's going to Beale Street, which I love, by the way, in Memphis. If you ever go to Memphis, gotta hit Beale Street up. That's a very underrated spot in Memphis. Intelligent Cycle, I think Stephen A is PO that the Knicks didn't get the first number 2 picks. That's what I think. Okay, listening to Ja Morant's pops talk about the preparation he put his son through to get him to this point in the NBA. So the Knicks, they're on the clock next with the number 3 pick. Let's see what's going. Let's see who they're gonna pick, or will they trade that pick? They could trade down. They could trade to get another player. Intelligent Cycle, I forgot to ask you, who would you want your team to pick in this draft tonight if they have a draft pick? Yeah, if the Knicks don't take RJ Barrett, then that front office needs to be fired, and James Dolan needs to just sell that team. All right, Spike Lee, he's there in the building. He's anticipating on who his Knicks are going to pick. And RJ Barrett, you know, he's trying. He put on his Sunday best. He's looking like an old school. He's looking like a '90s R&B singer. Okay, well, RJ say he ain't afraid of the big lights in Madison Square Garden. He might be getting his wish. All right, RJ Barrett goes number 3 to the Knicks. Okay, Intelligent Silent, you said I haven't necessarily paid attention to this draft. Hopefully, my Pacers get someone in place of Tyreke Evans. Yeah, man, that was dumb as hell on Tyreke Evans to just constantly sit up and just abuse drugs like that. Man, had a great opportunity. And he was actually a pretty solid role player for the Pacers last year, but he messed it up with his BS. Now he's basically kicked out of the NBA forever. So yeah, definitely. They definitely need somebody to replace the Pacers definitely need somebody to replace Tyreke Evans. And I'm curious, and also Intelligent Cycle, I'm curious to see what the Pacers do in free agency. You know, y'all need another star to go with Oladipo. Y'all definitely need another star to go with Oladipo. Because without him, yeah, I mean, I give y'all props for making it to the playoffs last year without him, but once y'all play Boston y'all couldn't execute on offense. You know, it was just like the blind leading the blind out there in that first round. So the Pacers can get another star to go with Oladipo. Not necessarily a superstar, even if it's just another all-star, then the Pacers definitely could be a threat in the East. And also, I'm curious to see how Oladipo will come back from that injury. So definitely can't wait to see him back in action again. Even though he was trying his best to kill my Cavaliers a couple seasons ago. He was trying, boy. Now we're going to see what the Atlanta Hawks do with the number 4 pick that they acquired from the New Orleans Pelicans earlier tonight. I'm curious to see who they're going to pick. I definitely hope they don't pick one of the players that I want the Cavs to get. Man, I hope that don't happen. And you know, Zion, he's happy for his boy. You know, Zion Williamson going to the Big Easy. And now his roommate, his teammate, is going to the Big Apple. And they're going to be facing each other twice a year. So now we're going to see who's going to the ATL. And then with the 5th pick, we're going to see who's coming to the land. Honey Talk Sports, what's up, man? How you doing? Okay, you said Hawks are getting DeAndre Hunter, it looks like. Man, that's one of the players I wanted the Cavs to get. If they get him, man, I'll be a little bit salty. Because that's one of the players on my list that I wanted the Cavs to draft. I like DeAndre Hunter. Well, I like Derek Culver too. I liked him in the March Madness. He was balling in that Final Four. That man was balling out in that Final Four. Okay. Excuse me. Johnny Talk Sports, you want Reddish, but you think they're going to take DeAndre Hunter. Yeah, Cam Reddish, I can see him going anywhere from 5 to 10. I could definitely see Cam Reddish going from 5 to 10. I'd be very surprised if he's drafted beyond 10. That would be a shock to me. A big shock. Okay, for those of you joining this live stream, welcome. And this is your first time, definitely welcome, but don't make this your last time. Subscribe to this channel. When you do, click on that bell icon so you won't miss any new videos or upcoming live streams from me. You know, why does it keep on saying the Lakers and it says that they've already traded the pick? They traded the pick with New Orleans. Now New Orleans have traded the pick with the Atlanta Hawks. So that shouldn't say Lakers. Yeah, but for those of you who have missed it, Zion Williamson got drafted number 1 by the New Orleans Pelicans. Ja Morant got drafted number 2 by the Memphis Grizzlies. And just now, RJ Barrett just got drafted number 3 by the New York Knicks. So the first 3 picks played out the way they were going to play out. Now we're about to see how the rest of the top 10 picks play out. Because I definitely think there's some guys that are not top 3 that are going to fly under the radar, and they're going to definitely turn into some great players for these teams. And tell Jasico, Rance Stephen A. had was hilarious, but he thinking of the wrong moves the Knicks made with draft picks from the past. When pressure is added on, they can't live up to the hype. Yeah, that has been true. The Knicks have had some doozies in the draft in the past. Okay, Johnny Talk Sports, you're gonna come back after the Atlanta Hawks. After the Atlanta Hawks pick. Okay. Yeah, they've had some doozies. You know, the only pretty good player they drafted in the past few years was Porzingis, but they shipped him off to Dallas. So how's everybody doing? How's everybody's evening going? Also, I'm almost in the process of finishing my Cash App, so my Cash App will be up soon. Y'all can donate to that. But for right now, you can donate to my PayPal. I'm about to post a link here in the chat. All right. There it is. You can donate whatever you want. Well, how much you want, whatever you feel is good. So I can keep this channel going, create more quality content for y'all. I will definitely, any donation that you can do, I will greatly appreciate it. Even if it's just something small as $1 or $2, I would definitely appreciate your donations. That's crazy how this number 4 pick, it's been like 3 card money. It's been shuffled. Is it the Lakers? Is it the Lakers card? Is it the Hawks card? Is it the Pelicans card? It's like 3 card money, just shuffling this pick. And now Adam Silver's announcing the 4th pick. Okay, the Hawks, they got DeAndre Hunter via LA and via New Orleans. So DeAndre Hunter will be going to the Atlanta Hawks. That's one of the players I wanted the Cavs to get. Man, that's one of the players I wanted the Cavs to get. But it's cool, though. Darius Garland and Jarrett Culver, they're still on the table. But definitely wanted him to get that. He would have made a good small forward for the Cavs. That man was definitely big for Virginia in that national championship. That dude was a man amongst boys in that national championship against Texas Tech. That's another reason why I wanted him. He could guard just about every position on the floor. That's another reason why I was hoping he wouldn't go at 4. Doggone it. But you can't have them all. And he was a pretty good shooter too. Man, I saw him a lot in that NCAA tournament, especially that championship against Texas Tech. Man, I wanted him to come to the Cavs. Oh man, but that's all right. Elliptic, be honest, bro. Who do you think is going to take it all next year? Right now, I'm not sure. I want to see how this free agency plays out before I make that prediction. You got the Raptors in the mix. They could definitely take it again next year. The Lakers definitely could challenge for the throne with AD now. And if they get another max player, then they're the biggest threat to the Toronto Raptors. Golden State, they're going to be down for a year with Klay Thompson, and we don't know what KD is going to do. We don't know what KD is going to do. We don't know if he's staying in Golden State or he's going to go to the Knicks. And the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're on the clock. We're about to find out who they're going to pick at number 5 in a few minutes. So yeah, I'm going to wait till after free agency plays out to see who goes where, who trades for who, before that way we have more of a clear cut picture on the NBA. And also we got to see where Kawhi is going to go. Is he going to stay with Toronto on a short deal, or is he going to go to LA and play for the Clippers? No, he ain't going to the Lakers. So a lot of people can get that fantasy out their head. He's not going to the Lakers to help LeBron win another championship after he just proved that he could win a championship on his own. So no, I don't see Kawhi going to the Lakers. The Lakers. So Laker fans, I love y'all to life, but y'all can get that fantasy out y'all head. Kawhi ain't going to the Lakers. If he does, I'll be very surprised.
Lillard and McCollum. Now, Colin Sexton and Garland have to go a long way to be compared to those two players.
I kind of don't want that. I kind of want another Lillard and McCollum. No offense to them, and they're both point guards. So what's the point? There'd be no point, in my opinion, to really draft Garland that high. I would go with Culver. I would definitely go with Culver. At least you can get a forward. You could definitely put him at small forward. Get some more of these cookies. Come on, open up, Dad.
I can see John Beilein translating the NBA. I think John Beilein will do very well. He's gotten a lot of advice from NBA coaches saying just be yourself. And John Beilein, he has himself.
That's nothing. How will John Beilein transfer from college to the NBA? The pick is in. Okay, the Cavs select Darius Garland from Vanderbilt with the number 5 pick. Wow. Maybe the Cavs are gonna put Garland as shooting guard instead of point guard, because Colin Sexton can't play shooting guard. He's too small for shooting guard. Got another bag of cookies. Got to grab on some more of these. So they're gonna try to create a guard duo with him and Colin Sexton to be the Eastern Conference version of Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. He's a pure shooter. And a pretty good ball handler. Just got to work on his defense. Yeah, look at his highlights. He does remind me of Damian Lillard.
Darius, you're only able to play 5 games at Vanderbilt, so a lot of people still don't know exactly that player. Young point guard, playmaker, defensive ball, I like to score as well. So, I like to win. I'm a competitor, so I'm ready to get sleep. And then you get to do that with Colin Sexton alongside him. And what would you say was the hardest part of this process, knowing that you were coming off an injury? Just to stay patient. That was the hardest part. But
and that's going to be another thing. Can Darius Garland stay on the floor long enough and be healthy? Okay, talking to Darius dad. But you know what? I changed my that kind of changed my opinion a little bit. I wouldn't mind seeing him and Colin Sexton play together. But well, that means are they gonna make Garland a shooting guard instead of a point guard? Because Colin Sexton is already the point guard, or will it be vice versa in John Beilein's system? Excuse me. Okay, Phoenix Suns, they're on the clock with the 6th pick. Just want to get some reactions on Twitter about the Darius Garland pick. So, what do y'all think about these players beyond the top 3? And also, yes, the 10th pick from Phoenix will be going to the Timberwolves. All right. For those of you out here watching in this live stream, for attention, Andrew Wiggins has been crappy. I got to do some things. So after the 10th pick I'm going to be out. I can't be on here too much longer. Excuse me. Yep, so I'm only going to be here for the last few picks. So I'm only going to be here for the last 5 picks of this draft. I got to cut it short because I got some things to do. I wish I could stay on here for the rest of the draft, but I got to cut it short. But and we're definitely going to see how he does. Wow, my dude Jared Culver, he's going to the Minnesota Timberwolves via Phoenix Suns. All right. Trading down from 5. They got inquiries from Minnesota and the Chicago. So I'm curious to see who they're going to get. I wanted the Cavs to get Jared Culver because he's a hell of a shooting guard. Man can shoot out the gym, defend multiple positions, and he's a pretty good perimeter defender. Have gone better with Colin Sexton, but who knows? I could be wrong. And Culver is similar to Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler, he's a pretty, so they had to get somebody to replace Jimmy Butler after they traded him to Philadelphia 76ers. Chicago Bulls are on the clock. We're going to find out who they're going to draft with their 7th overall pick within the next few minutes. So 3 more to go.
Coming from your son. And here's the factor that instilled in him that your son said on Sundays it was all about church, and faith is what got him to this point. How would you?
Well, it's been a great journey. I'm just thankful for the whole process. We just told them where we're in. That's where God wanted to be.
The real question is, Jared's never left Lubbock because we stayed right there with Tech to Tech. This is the first time leaving the family. You can't go to Sunday dinners all the time, Jared. How you gonna make it work?
Oh, no, find a way to get grandma cooking.
Dad, you gonna be okay?
Yes, I'm gonna be okay. I'll be okay.
All right, guys, congratulations.
Veteran move by Maria too to hold on to that microphone. You can't give that up to anyone, but a preacher particularly knows what to do with the microphone if you give it up. Well done, Maria. Way to stay strong. Hold your position. The Bulls are on the clock now. About 2 minutes to go. The Bulls have their fewest wins since 2001.
All right, definitely curious to see what the Bulls. You want to see what they're going to do. Okay, Jim Boylan. Jim Boylan did a pretty good job once Fred Hoiberg was let go. Yeah, Kobe White, he's still available. I see the Bulls picking him up. Yeah, we can see them picking up Kobe White. Oh. All right, the pick is in. Let's see who the Bulls are going to pick. Can't wait. Going to be going there for the taste of Chicago. Wow, that's tragic about his pops, though. But yeah, Kobe White could fit in with that good young core with Levine and Larkin. who I think is underrated, by the way. Larkin is pretty underrated. Okay, transition. Good. All right. What do y'all think about this draft so far? There's some diamonds in the rough that a lot of people aren't looking at. A lot of people might be sleeping on in this draft because they're not in the top three on, anybody. I can stand seeing Gilbert Arenas. I couldn't. I was always great. So 7 down, 8 more, 3 more to go. I can't be on here after the 10th pick. I gotta bail out because I got some things to do. I got some things to work on. I wish I could be here for the whole thing, but I gotta cut this stream short.
Congratulations, Cody.
Okay, Kobe talking to his future teammate. And I know they behinds off in New Orleans over Zion. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of how Cleveland reacted when it was announced that the Cavs were drafting LeBron James. That's what it reminds me of. I never remember that night. That was the top story on every news station in Cleveland. And they showed multiple draft parties that night. If you'd have saw those clips, man, you would have thought that we had just won the NBA championship the way we were celebrating.